Nova convention happened in 1978 in New York City at the Entermedia Theater in New York City, just below 14th Street. And one of the photographers who took a lot of the photographs of that show was James Hamilton.
It was 3 days, and I was on assignment from the Village Voice, which was my home newspaper. I was staff photographer there. And it was, until I arrived there, it was just an ordinary assignment. I didn't know much about what it was going to be. And then I was amazed to find all these characters there who were all fascinating and fantastic. Well, most of them heroes of mine.
Recently, I saw some footage by Howard Bruckner of the whole convention filmed with Jim Jarmusch as his sidekick in the filming, and I actually saw James's face in this mirror. He took his camera down for a second, and because there was a mirror in the dressing room, you could see a very young, very handsome James Hamilton in 1978.
And while working with him, we realized that he was one of the photographers in 1978 at the Nova Convention on assignment to cover it. So he had this wealth of photographs from this very legendary symposium on William S. Burroughs. And for me, it was very personally exciting because as a 19-year-old, I was there at one of the nights at Entermedia Theater, which was the big night when Patti Smith and Merce Cunningham and Laurie Anderson and Brion Gysin and all these great artists were doing performances and readings at that night at the Entrevista.
So for me, Burroughs was a good curator himself, and he had a great community. People don't think of him as a friendly person, but he brought a lot of artists together. And you can see some incredible women in these shots over here. And Waldman, the poet, Laurie Anderson, very, very young and beautiful. Obviously, Patti Smith was very close with William Burroughs, and yes, I think to spotlight these great minds, especially these great female minds, was very important for me. And to see these photographs by James Hamilton of Burroughs' community was very special and very enlightening from that time period, specifically the 70s in New York City.
You know, I think William Burroughs was always kind of able to sort of look at the world as a society that was sort of that was far more than what meets the eye. And I think his interest in different systems of control, both in the physical world and the metaphysical world, it kind of it brought these ideas that were steeped in reality and these ideas that were almost science fiction into like a new place. It was almost like this kind of third mind, which he was always interested in writing about. He was definitely one of the most esoteric and kind of far out writers who was in one sense very personal, and in another place very political.
He was a fascinating guy. I had only read The Naked Lunch, so I didn't know that much about his work, in fact. But throughout the convention, he was a very dour character. But there's a picture over here, if I can show you. That I thought was sort of a rare image of William Burroughs, because he seems very pleased with himself and pleased to be being photographed. This is backstage. So but it was the only time I had ever seen him in life be as sort of cheerful